up, guys? So today we are going to cook some dinner, and today's menu consists of some salmon croquettes, some hash browns, and probably open up some string beans. If you not cook vegetables with every meal. So I am right now draining my my pink salmon. Let's see if I can turn this around so you can see without dripping stuff. I have a can of pink salmon, and I have some. Drain this water. 1 second, guys. Yeah. I also have my skillet over here heating up, and I have some frozen hash brown, guys. I'm not fin to do the potatoes and peeling and cutting real smalls. I'm not fin to do all of that. So I do have my pans heating up. I have my bell peppers. I usually use a yellow onion, but today we're going to use a red onion since it's already cut up. I have my breadcrumbs. These are Italian style breadcrumbs. I have my eggs, and I normally use cornmeal for my patties, so I got my cornmeal. You can also use flour too, but I'm going to use the cornmeal. So, I have my seasonings over here. For the salmon, I'm only going to use fish seasoning, and this is from Spice Supreme. And for my hash browns, I'm going to use my regular seasoning, salt, garlic, and garlic powder and garlic powder and onion powder is my go-to seasoning. So just let me adjust this camera just a tad bit. So guys, I'm getting ready to put my my hash browns on. Y'all, this is a really quick and simple meal. Like, I'm not about to make homemade hash browns. That's just too much time, and I am not here for it today. So I'm going to put my potatoes in. Okay, and you guys, I normally put my onions in last because I don't want them to be burnt. And I'm actually using a non-stick pan, so just a word to the wise: when you use a non-stick pan, use a rubber spatula or a wooden spatula so you don't scrape the non-stick coating off of it. Okay. Going to season this up. I had already had this sitting out so I can thaw out some. So going to season that up a little bit. Got some, like I said, some seasoned salt. Got my garlic powder. And my onion powder. I don't know why this keeps sticking like this. It's supposed to be moist. My onion powder, okay. Alright, then I'm going to put some black pepper on. I thought I had it out already. And I'm going to cook this on a medium to low fire. gonna start letting that brown. Then we're gonna get started on, we'll put this back in the freezer, guys. A little bit more here. Okay. So I added a little more potatoes because we're gonna have this for dinner and lunch tomorrow. So you guys know how I cook. I have to cook enough for a couple of days because I'm not the one to be in the kitchen every day. That's just not gonna happen. Let me adjust my fire here. Y'all, and it's hot in here too. I'm grabbing a paper towel to wipe my face. Okay, so while that's cooking, I am getting ready to, I'm sorry, I'm adjusting the camera. Getting ready to cut up my onions and bell peppers. Trying to get this cleaned up so I can have some space. Put this over here and this over here. Alrighty, so I'm going to, hold on guys. Okay guys, so I'm going to cut up my vegetables now. I'm thinking I'm going to also put a few in, a few bell peppers in the hash browns, just a little bit. So I'm gonna cut it like this because this is like a really big onion. Okay. So I've never used red peppers in my salmon patties. I usually use a, I'm sorry, not peppers, onion. I usually use a yellow onion or white onion, depends on what I have. I think they call yellow onions. That's normally what I use, but I have one in there. It's not cut. And I figured since this is already cut, might as well use this. Now, guys, I know I've told you with yellow onions to rinse them under some cold water before you actually cut into it to kind of maintain the fumes so you don't tear up. Now the red onion or purple onion, I should say, you don't have to do that because the purple onion is actually sweeter than the you know, the yellow onion, so the tearing up is pretty much not there, so you don't really have to run that underwater. And what I'm trying to do is actually cut enough for the potatoes and for the salmon patties. So I will come back to you after I cut up all the vegetables, okay? Okay guys, so my vegetables are cut up. This should be enough. I hope it's enough. So I'm going to set this to the side. And I'm going to work on my salmon now. I'm going to put some gloves on because I don't want my hands smelling like fish fillets. And where is my, okay, here it is. So guys, I got this tool. My daughter was staying in Indiana for a while. And when I went to go visit her, we went shopping. I believe I got this from Family Dollar. I don't know if they still sell this because this was some years ago. And the way this works is there's a little hitch here. Okay. You pull it down to open it up, and pull it up to close it. Okay, and I only use this for my salmon croquettes, and the reason being because if you don't put enough cornmeal and things like that in the croquettes, that they'll break apart. And so when I pick it up, I can hold this down and flip it over and it won't break apart. But I try to make sure that I put enough mixture in there so that doesn't happen. And I'm looking for a I need a plate. I had an aluminum plate, but I think I threw it away. I'm pretty sure I threw it away when I fixed those burgers or whatever it was I was doing. Okay, so let me stir my potatoes right fast. And guys, I want my, what is spoon greasy? I want my potatoes kind of brown. I don't want them really white because I like the crunch in them. So I did turn the fire up just a tad bit on those. Okay, so now I'm going to put these gloves on like because I don't want my hands smelling like fish for days. So put these on. My hands are kind of sweaty. All this like really hot in here. I don't know why it's so hot. I got these doors open, the fans are going, and everything. It must be kind of humid outside. Okay, let me stir my stuff. So I did put the peppers and onions in the potatoes already, and I'm just kind of letting that cook a little bit, trying to get a little bit more crunchier. So I have my cornmeal here. I'm going to put on the plate so I can put my patties in. Okay, so I have my meat here, my fish here, and they come in a roll like this. And so what I normally do is pull all this ugly skin off of it, throw it in the can, open it up, do the same thing on the inside, and then open it up again. You can actually open it again and pull the bone out. There's a really soft bone in the middle of it. Now, from what I've heard of what I've read, these bones are actually soft enough to eat because they kind of disintegrate when they cook, but I don't take that chance. I go ahead and take it out. And what's this side? Yeah. There we go. Okay. So it usually come out in one wop, but this piece kind of broke up, and here's the rest of it here. I think I might have just pulled it on the wrong side. So and I'm going to do the same with this one. This one is breaking up. Put all this soft skin off of here. Okay. Now here we go. Alrighty, I think there's another piece. Okay, I got all that out. So let me stir my potatoes, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, now I'm gonna break this up just a tad bit. Okay. Gonna add my seasoning. Put this red here so the bottle don't smell like fish. Okay, so paper towels, I'm sweating. Okay, so I'm gonna add my fish seasoning, not a lot. Okay. I'm gonna add my breadcrumbs. One second, guys. Let me check my potatoes. Okay, guys, so I actually just took the potatoes out of the skillet. Now, I don't like my potatoes like super crunchy, like burnt crunchy. I still want to be able to taste them and eat them and everything. So I took them out. Okay, so I'm adding eggs. I'm going to put in 3 eggs. Now, I'm sorry, I don't know if I, oh shoot, I don't know if I told you, but I have 2 cans of this salmon here. I added the breadcrumbs, I added the fish seasoning, and I'm going to add my onions and peppers. My skillet is actually still on. And I'm going to mix this all together really well. And so guys, I actually put cornmeal in between them also. Like, so you can use flour too, but I prefer to use cornmeal. I would just always use cornmeal. This dish used to be one of my auntie's dishes when all of the kids were over her house, and we were over there all the time. So my auntie had 6 kids, and then it was me and my brother, and then it was their friends, and those that were old enough to have boyfriends, you know, they were there. My cousins, a couple of them's father was there. So this was my auntie's go-to meal, especially when finances were low. And this is what she would fix. She would fix a huge pan of the salmon croquettes and some rice. And y'all, let this grease get too hot. Some salmon croquettes and rice and some biscuits. She would make homemade biscuits. Y'all, let this grease get too hot, so I got to see if I can move this out the way. Give me 1 second, peeps. Okay, guys, so let's see how hot this grease is. So, y'all, in order to see if your grease is hot enough, if you're using flour or cornmeal, take a pinch of it, put it in there. If it sizzles, it's ready. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I have this all mixed up, and I'm going to put these in patties. Okay, and I'm going to take my my cornmeal, make them in circles, flatten them out pretty good. So my husband always tell me I make hamburger croquettes because they be kind of thick, but it's like when I flatten them out, they get thicker. I don't know why. I guess because I've used self-rising cornmeal too. But anyway, so made a patty. Take it and put it up here. Put a little bit in there to keep it together. Put some up here. Flip it over. Do the other side. Okay. I'm going to take my utensil here and put it on here, and it gets off some of the flour and cornmeal, y'all. I'm going to keep saying flour. And I'm going to put it in. And I'm going to continue that way until everything is gone. So these 2 cans may give me 8 to 10 patties, depending on how big you make them. So since mine, as you say, be kind of big, I'll be trying my best to make them smaller, but sometimes it just don't work. But mine, I like I say, get 8 to 10 patties. And guys, I love to eat these when they're hot, when they straight out the skillet. That's like everything. Do you hear me? Okay, so I'm going to do a couple more for you guys, and then I'm going to come back when they're all done, because everything I'm doing the same thing. It's going to, you know, it's repetitive, so there's no need for you to continue watching me make patties. I do try to make sure that the ends are nicely closed tight, which is why you see me keep pushing it in and turning it. Okay, I want to need some more flour on this plate. I keep saying flour, cornmeal on this plate. Okay. And y'all, the grease in the skillet, so I let the other grease in my cast iron skillet get too hot, so it kind of burnt, so I had to reheat up another skillet and put some fresh grease in it. So that's what I'm using right now. And actually, I used the skillet that I just did the potatoes in, so the skillet was already still nice and hot, so it didn't have to take too long for the skillet to heat up with the oil in it. And guys, I use 100% vegetable oil, and I think this is going to be broken. Okay, so I have 4 patties in the skillet. I'm going to let those cook. I'm going to continue making these patties, and I will come back to you guys when everything is done. Okay. Okay, guys, I am back. So everything is done now, and I actually did get 10 croquette patties out of those 2 cans. Actually got 10 nice sizes too. So of course I ate one. And it was very, very good. It was nice and tasty, and all I put on there as far as seasoning was the supreme spice fish seasoning, and it actually has flavor like all the way through. So I'm going to give you guys a peek at what the food looks like. Okay guys, so here I have my croquettes. Here I have my peas and my hash brown potatoes. With the hash brown potatoes, I did add red onions and bell peppers. In the croquettes, I also put red onions and bell peppers. I used 3 eggs, some Italian breadcrumbs to hold them together. And then for that, I use my basics. No, for the croquettes, I use just the fish seasoning, the supreme spice fish seasoning. And for the hash browns, I just used the basics, which was seasoned salt, onion powder, garlic powder, and black pepper. And then I decided to open up some peas. The peas, I just added some butter, salt, and pepper, and just heated those up. So this will be dinner for tonight, and then lunch for tomorrow. It's probably not enough potatoes for both, but that's okay. So guys, I'm so sorry, my husband just turned on the music and I'm about to get copyrighted, so I'm gonna let you guys go. Bye.